Hey, what's up, people? I hope you're doing good. This is a instant replay from my girl Beverly Thomas. She's going to tell you about making sure that you're COVID-proof in your life. You're making sure that your finances is secured, that your situation is in good hands. If you happen to get sick at work, or maybe you have life insurance, and maybe you even have health insurance, but do you have accident insurance? Do you have that thing that could happen in the middle of the night, or maybe you wasn't even expecting it, and then it impacted your life in a negative way? We always want to give you an opportunity to learn some good stuff, also to meet some people that can help you do what you need to do to protect your family, protect yourself. And so, my name is Dwayne Ross, host of this show, Passion Profit TV, where I help you with not only just talk about your passion, but also your profits that you can make by being on purpose. A lot of times people, they have a purpose, but they don't see a way to make money in it. Well, we believe that you should have a passion, you should be on purpose, but definitely make a profit. So, I am the author of the book No More Crumbs from the Table, where I help you celebrate discovering your gift, your talent, your ability, put them to work in the earth. And the way I say it is tag your talent, your ability, and your gift. And when you put those to work in the earth, all kind of things can happen. I want to also encourage you, if you are a person who is looking to write a book, if you're looking to write a book, or maybe you have a small business and you haven't thought about how can you get more clients. I have a really cool client getting opportunity for you with a really cool ebook. We can have it done in less than 7 days or less. And if you're interested in that, reach out to me and let's get that started, okay? But I'm taking on some new type of clientele, and this is business clientele who wants to use their story to help them get more clients. I want to help you do that as well. But before I go ahead to the replay, I just want to always put in my little tag there to get us started, and then we're going to share Miss Beverly Thomas. We'll see you next week. We have a new show coming soon, and look forward to getting some really cool people in front of you so you can have whatever you want out of life. All right, we'll talk to you later. Take care. See you on the next page post YouTube video. But hang out with us for this live. Check it out. This replay.
Though your heart's been broken and the pain's unspoken, know the Lord, He has you, and you still have value. Trials may come to test your faith, but you know they go away. Yes, the story of your life still unfolds. Right now you don't understand how you fit into His plan. Though it seems you lost, you win. You made a decision. What's the point of living at all? Feel like I can answer you. Something deep inside you saying that you can make it through. You're stronger than you'll ever know. Troubles from yesterday only come to test your faith. The darkest part of night is just before the day.
What's up, people? Let me add myself to this here stream. I hope you're having a great day, and we are celebrating around America. I'm sure you might be one of those people who are celebrating Black Girl Magic. You know, I started this whole show advertising on Black Girls Rock, and it was so interesting when I saw this really cool picture of Michelle Obama. She's kind of pointing, and, Kamala, Vice President Kamala Harris is saying, I got you. So the two of them was sharing that, distance, but yo, I got you. We're in this. We're making this happen. And then people all around were just like ecstatic about moving forward from what we've been doing to see if we can heal a little bit. And then, of course, move into a better place, of helping each other understand what happened over the summer of 2020 with all the police brutality, all the murders, Breonna Taylor, making sure we still say her name, saying all the names that were out there in reference to what was going on in our communities, the people that were, beat down and kicked around on June 1st so that the person that was in the White House at first can go take a picture at a church that he didn't even have authority to do so. And then, of course, we saw the whole surge of individuals on January 6th come into one of the sacred hollows of our nation, the Capitol, and actually come into the Capitol and desecrate that environment. But we saw how the people behind the scenes came in and cleaned it all up and washed and polished it and put it in a place that allowed the new president, President Joe Biden, and the new vice president, black woman, South Asian woman. People, they keep leaving out the South part, you know, that she came into the office as well to represent the people, right? And now, some people say it doesn't matter whether it's Republican or Democrat, and I understand that. I lived long enough to understand politics is politics. But the fact of the matter is, we've been dealing with some real negative stuff, and this was just a fresh air for a lot of people. So hopefully, as we move forward, we remember that there's three things, right? Love conquers all things. We need to remember to love one another, treat each other with humanity. Humanity is the issue. If we can see each other in our eyes, we can't destroy each other. But we don't do that. We tend to look at each other as separates. You're this and you're that, and you're from this and you're from that. And those things are important because you don't want to lose your identity to who you are and where you come from, and where we come from as far as a nation of people who have struggled in this nation, United States of America, when you say the people of color. But then at the other side of that is we still need to love one another, embrace the differences, and understand that you're just a little bit different than me, but when it all comes down to it, you want the same things that I want in most cases, right? And so we're gonna, hopefully we see how that is matched up and move forward. And so tonight I have a really cool show. I got two guests coming in, one all the way from Chicago and the other one from Southern Maryland. So it's gonna be kind of cool, right? But I want to invite you to sit back for a minute and think about the way that you have your life set up and some of the things that we're going to talk about. Because I have Shanice Hill Sullivan, who actually she's on the radio right now in Chicago making her moves to get here. And she's not in the green room yet, so she was going to go first, and then we're going to hear from Miss Beverly Thomas. But you know what, Miss Thomas is here for Thomas and Associates LLC. She's got some really cool dynamic information, but two dynamic black women bringing that black girl magic, making sure that happens, right? And I'm going to share with that. I just want to say thank you to those that are supporting my daughter. That was her song, You Win. You heard that in the beginning. It's climbing the charts. Is all over the place, and she's available in all kind of places and spaces, wherever you purchase music or get music. And family members, I just want to remind you guys, go out there, support her. It's only $1, right? So 99 cents, and you could purchase that, so it's not really expensive. And so I want to give a shout out to a few people. Last week also, you guys remember Dr. Dent, Sabrina. She released her and Dr. Corey Walker. I keep saying Booker. African Americans and Religious Freedom. They released this new perspectives for congregations and communities, and this is a conversation about religious freedom. And we don't talk about religious freedom in America too much, especially in the African American community, because we've been indoctrinated with one type of way of thinking. So we got to be careful. But here's some information that could help you kind of have a dialogue about what is religious freedom and how is it that, in a nation now where so many different people coming from so many backgrounds, we can't discount them just because of us. So we got to be careful with that. Also want to give a shout out. Miss Terry is almost finishing up. Her alarm is sounding book is coming through. This is a prayer journal that she's working on. She's almost at the end of that. Also want to give a shout out to my other client, Desiree Morgan and Michael Cleo's Chin with Almost Not Born. Man, this is a hot book right here. Where a young lady, she takes you through the life of a young lady, Desiree, takes you through a life of Destiny, who, had a mom that was abusive and how she withstand the abuse and made it through to the other side. And really, really powerful book. And you guys know that I am the author of the book, No More Crumbs from the Table. Celebrating your tag, right? You discovering your talent, your ability, your gift, and putting it to work in the earth. And as I always say, if you have a passion for something, you could create a profit. So that's what this show is all about. It's about identifying people out there who have put their passion to work. And when they put their passion to work, it's like, okay, what did you do in the earth? How did you make that happen? What are you doing? And then how are you making money with that? So without any further ado and further delay, I'm going to bring in Miss Beverly Thomas from Thomas Associates LLC. She's going to tell you about how she took the journey into entrepreneurship. What was the journey? Where did it start? Where did that passion to help people? I'll let her talk to you about it. Come on in, Miss Beverly. What's going on, young lady, young lady?
Hi, Dwayne. Thank you so much for inviting me to be on the show tonight. And Brittany's song is awesome. So I hope everybody's out there getting that record because it's awesome. She has a beautiful voice.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, it's funny because when you have a certain thing in your family line, you don't always see it as clear. But seeing her do her thing has just been amazing for the family. So thank you for that insight. And hey, Brittany, I hope you heard that. Keep that going. So talk to us, Miss Beverly. You came on the show. I asked you. I was like, hey, would you mind sharing about this? Because you talk about benefits. But before you get to all of that, let's talk about who's Beverly Thomas and how did she get into business? What was your journey?
I will certainly tell you that. I'll tell a funny story about us first. I met Dwayne many years ago. I actually interviewed him for a job. And then I actually ended up signing up last year for a class to learn how to write a book. And I walked in the classroom and Dwayne was my instructor. So everything comes in a circle. So we're meant to work together in some form or fashion, I think.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool story because I do remember that. I had just moved to Maryland and I was like, I got to get me a job, right? But then I was thinking, I really don't like the 9 to 5. I really like to be free. And I went into your office and I was like, oh man, this is cool. We got a little lake right there. This is a nice little area right here. Then I walked in and it was like, oh, okay, let's see what we can do. But I couldn't make the commitment to what you do, but you're going to talk about that because you have an affiliate kind of position where people actually work for themselves within the work that you do. So talk to us about that journey and how you got started.
Okay, great. Well, I'm a proud alumni from Tuskegee University, and so I got a degree in business and accounting, and great, got a job, moved off to Minneapolis right after work, and I decided after 4 years of going to school for a degree, I didn't like accounting. So it just wasn't what I wanted to do, cracking numbers, that kind of thing. So I ended up moving to the East Coast and worked in corporate America in various positions for about 14 years. And a very good friend and family member of mine introduced me to employee benefits. I'd never really thought about it, never thought you could make money doing it, never knew really what it was all about. And they introduced me to it, and I started looking into it, and I decided I like this. This is fun. I like it because I was able to help people. And when I say employee benefits, people are like, what are you talking about? And I'm going to break that down a little bit more for you. But, I just knew that I wanted to be self-employed. I wanted that flexibility. I wanted to do my own thing. I didn't want to have a salary and got to 5% raise every year or 2% raise every year. So I knew that that's what I wanted to do. And I found out that I was already doing what I'm doing now, but wasn't getting paid for it. I was always the person that
Oh,
people.
I told you I was going to interrupt you. Got to bring you back. Got to bring you back. Got to reel that in now, because today there's 30 million people lost their jobs during COVID. Right? We have one of the highest unemployment rates across the nation. Even though people have been working, they haven't been working full time, and they haven't had a full time income. And you said that you wanted your freedom. You saw, hey, I don't want that same rat race that people get on where they're, on the wheel and all they have is their job. They go around, they play Monopoly, and just imagine playing Monopoly where you just run around the outside of the thing and you never buy no property, you never get involved, you just go around collecting a paycheck.
Yes,
Can you win the game that way, Beverly?
no,
Can you? No.
absolutely not.
He said absolutely. She said absolutely not. That's a golden platinum nugget, right?
Absolutely.
You got to find your passion. You got to find something that excites you. She was already in it. She finished her degree. She's in the job. She's like, oh my God, this sucks. I don't want to do it. This is not me. Then she found something that she had no intention on. Didn't even know what the employee benefits was. That's
Absolutely.
amazing.
I fell into it. I fell right into it.
Well, you walked into destiny. That's the way I like to look at it. You might have fell into it, but destiny had a different opportunity for you, and you answered the call. See, some people don't answer the destiny call, but talk to us about how you answered the call.
And I will tell you, and that's the other thing, some people don't want to take risks. When I first started my business, I started a different business first. And most people that have been successful have more than one business that they've started. My first business was doing pretty good. I was doing program and project management. I had some really high profile clients and I was doing well. But I was making good money, but I wasn't happy. I didn't enjoy it. It was just something to make money. And then when I fell into this, I said, oh my gosh, I love doing this. My first year doing employee benefits, working in this field, when I turned my business over to this, I actually had a decrease of about $50,000 in salary. I took a decrease. So I had to have some faith to stay in it because I just had to know that, your first year, you're just getting a business started. It's not going to be successful right away. So you have to really put your time and energy into it. And when I say employee benefits, I'm going to back up and break that down for folks. I'm a consultant. I help people with their problems. I help them find a solution. I help them with their problems. When my son was very young and he was trying to figure out, he knows a school bus driver drives a bus, a teacher's a teacher. He says, Mom, all you do is talk on the phone. I said, yeah, that's what I get paid for, talking on the phone. So I am a consultant. And so I consult with businesses as small as a small mom and pop, 3, 4, 5 employees to something as big as a Walmart. So I can deal with clients of all sizes. And if anyone out there who has a job or has had a job, every year they talk about open enrollment, get your health benefits, get your other benefits. Well, I'm the person who consults with your company before open enrollment to put all those benefit packages together for you to figure out what they need to offer you. So my first job is working with the company to figure out what benefits make sense to offer to their employees. Once we roll that out, then my job is to work with the individual employees to help them make a decision for their families, what works best for them. Everybody knows about health insurance. Everybody knows, oh, you need to pick your health insurance and go through that. But what I provide is not health insurance. I provide all the other things, such as short-term disability, life insurance, hospital plans, cancer plans, long-term care, vision, dental, all those other things. My plans pay money directly to you. So they're like a financial safety net. Most people have working paycheck to paycheck. And I don't care if you make $20,000 a year or $200,000 a year. What I see is that people spend everything that they make. So every dollar that comes into their house already has somewhere to go. So people are broke right after payday. So therefore, if something happens as an emergency, they don't have a financial safety net. They don't have money sitting in the bank. They don't have 3 to 6 months of salaries sitting in the bank to pay bills. And no matter what's going on in your life, you're still going to have to pay that mortgage or rent, a car note, utility bills. Your bills are still going to be there. Health insurance does not pay your bills for you. It pays the doctor and the hospital. It's not going to pay your bills. So I always tell people, if you got a great health insurance plan, that's great, but you can't take it to Safeway and buy groceries. You
Who?
still
Okay, okay. See, you on the roll. I got. I told you, I got to slow you down. I got to slow you down because I heard a statistic, and it was pretty and powerful that Americans, us, we save less than 2% of our income, and we put it into a bank that gives us less than 1% interest. So therefore, it's not growing. And then we got this thing called long-term care or cancer benefits, or when someone gets an injury. I recently was in a car accident. Thank God I was able to walk away. But talk about, back us up a little bit and tell us these things that people usually don't pay attention to when it comes to what
absolutely.
else you need besides insurance for life.
Besides health insurance, every short-term disability should be your foundation.
Excuse
Because
me.
what that says, if you have an off-the-job accident or you get sick and the doctor said you can't come to work, it guarantees you a portion of your salary. So you know you still have money coming in the door. So let's say, for example, people who have COVID, they're in the hospital for weeks and weeks upon time. These folks, if they don't have short-term disability, they're not getting a paycheck. They have no money coming in the door. Some of these people are the breadwinners for their family. So therefore, there's no money to pay the rent or the mortgage or anything else in the household. So you have to have that. Short-term disability covers maternity leave. I've seen so many young ladies who have had a baby and had to go back to work after 2 weeks because they didn't have any more leave. They couldn't stay with the baby and be there because they didn't have short-term disability in place. And all these employee benefits it's insurance. And we'll talk about insurance. Insurance is just saying that the company is going to take the risk away from you. So if something happens, they're going to be there to help you through it. It's just like a spare tire in the trunk of your car. We all ride around with a spare tire in the trunk of our car. Nobody really wants to use it. But if something happens, we pull that little donut off, put it on the car, and it gets us to where we need to go until our car is fixed. That's what voluntary benefits are. It's just like that little donut in the back of your car. You really don't want to use it, but if you need to, it's there. So short-term disability is simple as that.
I love that. That's a really cool analogy. Did you tell me that in the orientation? No. I think I would have joined you, but because I don't like going in the back of the trunk to pull that out
No,
and put it on the car. And it looks kind of crazy in most cases because it's usually not even the same size as the regular tires, which that's a whole nother story because if you don't have enough money. But I have a friend of mine, him and his wife in California, pastor. They were frontline workers. Both of them work as nurses. They had a nursing facility that they actually managed, or I think they co-owned or owned, and both of them got COVID,
wow,
and both of them without any income. Both of them were in situation where they had to recover, and thank God they both did. And they're back at living their lives and things of that nature. But they didn't have anything, and they actually had to close one of their businesses because of that.
wow,
And they didn't lose their jobs, but the thought is they probably would have lost their job over time if it would have been longer. But what would have been worse is losing their home.
absolutely.
So can you talk about how do you protect your assets and what kind of things you do and why this is so important? Because, as you said, we usually carry insurance for like life insurance and auto insurance only because they tell us that we had to. We expend all the money that comes in, so there's no emergency fund in most cases. So how do people see the value? How do you help them see the value in taking that money and putting it towards this type of, I would say, safety net versus
Exactly.
the other stuff?
And I'm going to talk about that, Dwayne, but please remind me to get back to that life insurance statement that you said, because I'm going to disagree on a little bit on that and talk about that too. The reason I tell people, it's like sometimes people say, well, I don't really need short-term disability because I'm never sick. And I always tell people, you're never sick until you get sick. I mean, and I use a simple example. Because you've never had a flat tire, do you take that donut out of the trunk of your car and leave it at home? No, you still keep it with you because you feel a little bit more comfortable with it. So I always tell people when you look at the cost of some of these benefits, they're spending the money anyway. You're spending the money whether you're going to Panera Bread, whether you're playing the lottery, whether you are going to the movies. In the old days when we went to the movies, you're buying, eating out. You're spending the money, Chick-fil-A, you're spending the money anyway. So take some of the money that you're spending on things you don't need and put it toward things that you do need for your family. That's what people need to do. You're spending the money anyway. If you sit down and look at where your money is going, I remember when I used to drive from my house to my office, which was about 6 miles, I would have Wawa. I love Wawa coffee when I used to drink coffee. I would have Wawa coffee at home. I would leave my house, stop by Wawa, get a cup of coffee, and go in the office. Didn't make any sense. I just didn't take the time to make it at home, which would have taken me all of 2 minutes.
Now you got these little quick Keurigs and all this other stuff. You can make coffee in less than 2 minutes now. So,
Exactly.
all right. So you asked me to remind you about the insurance because of the fact that,
One of the
there
things,
may be a disagreement on that.
yeah,
But I mean, I'm in agreement with the fact that number one, having something in place for long-term care, because I've actually experienced that myself, and I've seen other people who their family member is in a situation where they're not able to stay at a hotel, a hospital, and now they're home, and like, how do they continue to manage? And I heard a statistic that America's losing their houses because people have to put mortgages against their house to pull the money out to pay for the long-term care of their loved one.
most bankruptcies are caused because of medical situations. And these are people who have health insurance. So it's not like they don't have health insurance, but they don't have money to pay all the other bills. So most people that go into bankruptcy is because they had a medical situation and they could not pay their bills. They could not keep their mortgage up. I've seen kids drop out of college because the parents couldn't afford to keep them there, all kinds of things. So that's very important to make sure that you have things in place like these types of insurance in place. One of the things that you said is that people have life insurance and car insurance because we're told we have to. People have car insurance and homeowners insurance because they're told we have to, legally told we have to. Most people don't have life insurance in place. You would be surprised.
That's right. That's right. Because I know, see, the thing about me is I have a sister who passed away at 55, and she had life insurance up until this one time that I remember having a conversation with her and her husband, and they were talking about going on a vacation. They were talking about this lifestyle vacation that they always wanted to take, being married, etc., for over 20 years. And they took that vacation, and I don't remember what happened, but I do know at the end of the day, she didn't have anything in place when she went on vacation again, and she never came home. I had to go get her from vacation. So yeah, life insurance, a lot of people don't have it, but I did, and I do only because of that incident. But you're right, so I stand corrected. But the fact is, they wouldn't even do the other insurances if we didn't have to by law,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
right?
And the
So
one thing I can promise everybody on this, who's listening to this, we all are going to die. If you didn't know that, I'm here to announce it.
what, girl? Are you?
I'm not psychic. I can't
Oh,
say
you,
you in.
how'd you find that out?
I've got my ways. But
Talk to us, Miss Beverly.
here's the thing. It costs about $10,000 for a funeral. And if your family is trying to, first of all, they're grieving your death, and then they don't have money to bury you, you're just putting a lot of stress on them when you shouldn't have to. Now, and life insurance doesn't have to be expensive. I think a lot of people don't have it because it seems complicated. It can seem very complicated. There's many different types, and then they just get confused. And when people are confused, they do nothing. Okay, I don't know what to do, so I do nothing. So that's one of the things about life insurance that's very confusing to people. There's term life, whole life, universal life. They don't know what to do and what they're buying. And I will tell you, we've got people out here right now that your company may offer you life insurance and they may pay for it for you. Some companies pay for a small $10,000, $20,000 policy for their employees. Here's the thing. When you leave that company, whether voluntary or involuntary, that life insurance stops. So you always need to have a policy outside of your company so that no matter who you work for, you still have life insurance in place. Sometimes at your company, they'll say, well, you can buy a supplemental policy on top of the one that we're giving you. And you can do that. It's very inexpensive. But here's the problem with most of those supplemental policies. When you leave your job, the rate goes up. And the rate goes up every 5 years, and the face value of the policy goes down every 5 years. So you left the company with $100,000 policy. In 10 years or so, that policy might be worth 45,000 or 40,000. So what you thought was 100,000 is not, and you're paying a lot more money for it. Most people don't know that because they don't ask questions until they get into the situation. Someone has passed. Now you want to figure out, how does this work? That's not the time to understand what your policies are. Or I get, a lot of times I'll get young people say, oh, my mom has a policy on me. And they're, let's say they're like 30 years old. And I said, first of all, why is your mother having a policy on you at 30 years old? That's fine, but you should have your own policy. And a lot of times their mother doesn't have a policy on them because their parents had what they call a term rider on them as a child. Once they aged out and got over the age of 25, that was no longer valid, but people don't know that. So they still think they have a policy on a 30-year-old child when they don't have anything. So it's just about having that information and knowing it. Yes, sir.
And mute. You just dropped some real other, a platinum bomb right there because people don't even understand the value or the situation when it comes to term insurance. And so you said that they had a term writer. So what I like you to do is just kind of give them a little bit more information about what a term writer is, because we tend to think of it as like, oh, it's just supplemental, but the reality is it has a start and an end date. And then
Absolutely.
this whole idea of term insurance itself, that you can actually forget that the term came to pass, and now when you try to go back, you got to pay like 5 times, 3 times, 2 times as much to get the same amount. And as you just said, when you have it from your employer, you might leave and find out that now it's worth like half the value that you thought. So $100,000 now only $40,000, and we already know you can't even get a good apartment for less than $1,500 a month. So $45,000 is going to be gone like in sets. I read something recently that said you got to have $2.1 million worth of assets to retire without having to work into the future if you did it today, which I still got a few more years to go. Help, help us, Miss
I,
Beverly.
I think they should stop scaring people with that number, because then people say, well, I'm not going to have 2.1 or 2.5 million. So I just give up. I'm not playing that game. So, but yeah, the life insurance is so important to have, because you also, life insurance is for your burial. And I'll go back to the term in a minute. I know you asked me something. Life insurance is for your burial, to bury you. And again, that costs probably about $10,000. And that's not a Whitney Houston type funeral. That's, you have the service, you have the potato salad, fried chicken at afterwards. That's the kind of, that's going to cost you that 10,000. And then you also have family, people who have families, they have small children that they're waiting to, that they're taking care of, need to be taken care of. They may want to send them to college one day, or they have a spouse, and that spouse can't afford to stay in the house, now that the other half is gone. So you leave money behind to take care of those that were depending upon your income and that you love. So, and it also can transfer to generational wealth, something that we don't think about a lot, getting people set up. So life insurance is very important. How much you need and what kind you need really depends on your situation. And as a consultant, I sit down with people individually that I figure out what you need, because my needs and your needs are going to be different because we have different things going on in our lives, etc. But I can tell you, as a baseline, everybody needs enough for burial. As a baseline, if you don't have anything else, don't leave that on your family. Don't let your family sit up here and have to do a GoFundMe in order to bury you. When you could have done this yourself. I had a young man one time, and I sometimes I talk to my clients when they're very young, in their 20s or something, and I'll tell them, I said, I'm going to take off my professional hat and I'm going to put on my mother hat for you. I said, because I have kids your age. And the first thing, and I was trying to tell them about getting life insurance, and the policy was going to be like $3 a month or something. It was so crazy. He said, well, my mom, I'm not going to worry about that. Parents will take care of it. And I said, are you really telling me you won't let $3 a month come out your paycheck so that your parents won't have to worry about that? He just felt like that. I can't let $3 go. I'm like, I don't believe this. But you have people with that mindset. And that's because a lot of times, a lot of us didn't come up sitting around the dinner tables talking about finances, talking about life insurance, talking about disability, talking about any of these things. So we don't know. And we have to educate ourselves. So even, when I go to a company and I'm sitting there doing one-on-ones with people, there's some employees that won't make an appointment with me because they figure, oh, I'm not interested. And I said, I'm not selling you anything. I want to give you information so that you make a great decision for your life. So we need to sometimes stop and gather the information, and don't let all of our information come from a reality TV show. Let it come from experts in the field that know what they're talking about. So I think that that's something we need to do.
That's important. Also, the fact is, value is in the information, and then the decision is where you make the choice, right? So
Exactly.
we can help people with the value. So it seems to me that people discount the value in the conversation because they're scared that you're going to ask them for something, right? You're going to demand them to come out of their wallet and make a decision. I like the way you position this though, because you said, listen, I'm just going to give you some information, and then you let your intellect and your decisions about where you allow your money to go to make the decision. But as you said in the beginning, most people don't even know where all their money goes.
Absolutely.
And I know I've been in that situation multiple times where the money was already identified, and I was just waiting for it to show up so I could just send it to somebody else. Right? It's like okay, your name is rent and your name is insurance, and you little buddy are you're a bag of chips. Okay, I might be able to save you, but this other one is car insurance. So take us through this idea of the mindset of what you need to do in order to prepare yourself as we look at our finances, we look at strategy, because you said you helped them identify a strategy for
Exactly.
their situation. So take us to that. Miss Shanice Hill is here now. I want to bring her into the conversation. She might want to participate. She might just want to sing. I don't know what what we might do, but I'm gonna give her the opportunity, to say some things. But I want to bring you back, Beverly. I think that this is worthy of a lot more time. And if you don't mind, I'd like to get you on the calendar even quicker. I had talked a while back to Keith Tucker, who also does financial strategies, and he talks about getting out of debt and stuff like this. I think we need to have like a summit, and this financial summit would include people like yourself, Keith, other people who have really showed us, like, okay, how do you use your house as a bank? How do you use your finances that you have, your paycheck, to accelerate, your income? Why did you choose to go into this business? Because you've been in business for 20 years.
Absolutely.
You're not a new startup. You've had sustainability. You've gone with the ups and downs. You've actually had to see how it benefited to just be a player in the game or owning your own agency.
Hmm.
And you help people see that benefits are important over this just having life insurance. So would you be interested in coming back and sharing more with us?
Oh, I'd love to. I'd love to.
All right, so let's talk about how they can find you, because that's you have a website, right?
Yes. There's a
And
couple ways you can find me. Phone number 301 645 3700.
three
That's
zero
my
one six four five thirty seven hundred.
3700. My
All right,
email, bthomas, bthomas, at thevbshop.com. That's at thevbshop.com. And if you want to find out more about benefits, you can go to www.thevoluntarybenefitsshop.com, and that'll show you some of the information. But your best information is going to come from a one-on-one with me, because I'm going to look at your particular situation and see what might best fit your needs.
you said thevoluntarybenefits.com.
Benefitsshop.com.
Benefits,
With
two
a
S's or one
two
S?
S's. Two S's.
Okay,
Yeah.
two S.
And I do work with
Benefits shop.
federal employees as well, Dwayne, as well as businesses. I work with federal employees and individuals as well.
Awesome. I know that recently I was able to put you in touch with our
Two S.
blacks in government, and the hope is that we can get that. If you have a small business, can I hold a WebEx for my few employees? That's someone. Commitments Ken Less. He's asking how he can get you to do a presentation for his employees if you have a small business.
Absolutely. He can contact me at 301-645-3700 or B Thomas at thevbshop.com.
All right, and yes, absolutely needs an entire hour. All right, so we're gonna say see ya for right now, not goodbye. You know, if you notice, I don't say goodbyes a lot to people. That I say see ya, and people say, "Why you say see ya?" Because I plan to see you again. I don't say goodbye to. I might say goodbye to the collector or somebody. It's like I was like, see ya, no, bye. So let me give us one golden nugget, one platinum nugget about like what word of wisdom you want to leave people with in reference to what you do.
I guess the word of wisdom that I would leave people with, if I have to go with one word, is to, well, I'm going to give you a couple words. Be proactive on your life and what you need for your life. Be proactive and get educated. Get educated on it. Don't walk away and think you know everything. Get educated, but watch where you get your information from as well.
Why don't we do this? And this is the first time I'm doing this, and I think this is cool. Why don't we do something in the next 7 to 8 days? If you're interested in hearing more from Beverly over the next 7 to 8 days, put something in the comment section or put something in the just put something in the comment section. I want to see, people are interested in quickly having this conversation because what I think we should do is an educational overview, and we should just bring you back really quick. I'll advertise it. I'll put it out there. I'll look at who showed up here, and I'll invite them and that type of thing, and I'll invite some more people, and let's get you back on and like do a Q&A and a really like deep dive into why this is important, especially during COVID, because we did have a family member in our family just recently passed away as a result of COVID. I had another friend of mine who had somebody just pass away as a result of COVID, and the goal is to make sure that we secure that stuff so that the family doesn't find themselves in a hardship situation. So I think this is cool, and I'm hearing. Okay, so here's what I'm getting in the chat. Yes, this is a good time that we begin a new benefits. Yes, I'm very interested. Thank you, Beverly, for looking forward to hearing from you soon, hearing about you soon. And so, yeah, I think the people who are here, Jamila, this is good information. We saw that earlier also from a couple other people as well. And so I want to get you in there and do that. Thank you so much. We spent a little more time than when we had originally planned, but that's okay. But we know that this is helpful and this is impactful, and that's what I want to do on this show. Passion to Profits is about being impactful and making a difference in the lives of other people. So that's something that we're definitely going to do. Yes, definitely in the next 7 days. Great info. Look at this. Alabama, man, cool.
Yes.
Gal, Thurdell, yes, would love more information on the different insurance. Okay, thank you, Miss Thurdell. How you doing? Good to see you. All right, so listen, would love more information. This is hot topic. We are good. We done tapped into something here, Beverly. So you and I are gonna talk after the
Yes.
show. We're gonna set something up. I'll put out the information. We're gonna put out, information. Everybody who's watching this, I'm gonna ask you to be sharing the link tomorrow because it's gonna come out tomorrow. I'm gonna ask you to share it. Also gonna give you, I'm gonna have a placard made up so we can share Beverly coming back and talking about this stuff. And let's have a real sit down talk. And we're gonna do it on Zoom, and that way people can see you. They can ask you questions. We can do that kind of stuff. Does that sound
Absolutely.
good, Beverly?
Sounds good.
All
Thank you.
right, good seeing you. Thank you so much. I don't want to be remiss by saying yes. I'm looking for your book. You came to my class. You're like, you're the instructor. You walked into the college. It was like, yes, ma'am. I'm in.
Uh-oh. What
Prepare to be amazed. I'll talk to you later. All right, y'all. Miss Hill is here. Miss All right, so you guys, I hope you were good on that. That was Miss Beverly Thomas, and just so you know, Miss Chanel Hill actually will be coming back soon. We're working on a date to get her back. She's got a couple of, she won a few awards. She's been doing a lot of different things, and I'm excited. That's really, one of those things where you see somebody, still moving in their purpose, and they're just kind of knocking down doors and adding different accolades to their performance and things like that. So Shanice Hill was coming up on the second part of this, but actually she had some technical difficulties in that show. So we just said, come back and give you more of time, and hopefully that will happen. So we do have her coming back one of these days, sometime maybe in May or June. I can't believe I've been doing this over a year, but it's only because you guys have been showing up. And so when you show up, I got to show up, and I show up, so you show up. So it's been awesome. My show is actually being seen in other countries now, and I'm positioning it right now to be, I think it was Thailand, Japan. It's about seven different countries, and I'm really excited about that. And that's happening soon, and I'll be uh, telling you more about that as it expands. So anyway, have a great night. Reach out to Beverly, as she said, B Thomas at the VBShop.com. You can reach her there. She also had given her number out, so hopefully you took that information down. And if you still need that and you can't figure it out, reach back to me, and I will put you right in direct contact with Beverly so she can help you position your family better when it comes to what's happening with being prepared. I got a lot of glare on my glasses, so I'm gonna take them off. Being prepared for situations. You know what I mean? Because like she said, people don't need insurance about being sick until they get sick, right? You never know. Like that accident that happened December 18th, I was sitting there minding my business, and a drunk driver came up behind me, smashed into my vehicle, and totaled my car, and put me in a situation where financially I had to reach into some different areas and get some things, because one of the insurances that I didn't really understand or have was gap insurance when it comes to vehicles. And hopefully, if you've ever purchased a new vehicle, get that gap insurance. It sounds like you're paying for something you never need, but then when you need it, it's a big deal, right? So now I'm paying $8,000 for the gap that was happening because it was based on what the vehicle was worth in the marketplace versus what I purchased it from. And now I got to pay $8,000 to a car that's gone, totally dismissed, right? So you don't want that to happen with your health. You don't want to be in a situation where your job kicks you out, and now you get sick from COVID or anything else. The flu is still out there, and a whole bunch of other things out there. Cancer, she mentioned that. She said the number one place for people losing their entire inheritance is because of health benefits, health not having health benefits, and cost of health care. And that's why, the new administration is fighting so hard to keep that in play and make sure that we're prepared. So, anyway, my name is Dwayne Ross. I want to say thank you for checking out this replay of Miss Beverly Thomas, where she shared some really, really cool information. I hope you felt good about that. And as always, I just want to say, take care, be blessed. See you on the next page, the next post, the next YouTube video, or the next live. Have a good night, everybody.